Black Box Podcast, BBOR, Black Box Online Radio, coming to you from West Virginia. Well, I may be a West Virginian, but I'm actually a New York Giants fan, and it is NFL Sunday. So first, I would like to congratulate the Giants on another hard-fought loss to the Minnesota Vikings. Absolutely abysmal performance that they had today. So let's talk a little bit about sports conspiracy theories. I mean, in the past, I had been tempted to do an upload on each individual theory that we're going to go through. And it is true that most of the things we talk about on this channel are like breakdowns and almost analysis, even though that's probably too sophisticated of a word. But I thought let's just have a conversation about some of the theories that go on in the sports world about specifically sports conspiracy theories. I'm going to say the largest one out there that stands out to me in terms of just sort of wackiness would be, we once played a Super Bowl with the New England Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks. The interception at the goal line, you probably saw it, and the commentators are just like, they had Marshawn Lynch in the backfield talking about the Seahawks, and they didn't run the ball. They threw an easy interception to the Patriots, and the Super Bowl was over. But the thing is, though, the conspiracy theory that revolves around this is Marshawn Lynch is someone who they just did not want as an NFL hero. They did not want him as a Super Bowl hero. The NFL administration gave a call to Pete Carroll, the coach of the Seahawks, and was just like, do not run the football with Marshawn Lynch on the goal line. This is a real existing conspiracy theory. And I mean, we've heard this from time to time in conversations, but even Marshawn Lynch was talking about it himself with Pat McAfee on the Pat McAfee show this year. And he was just sort of like, is there any possibility that they would actually go after a guy like this? I mean, I'm just throwing out the theory. The only sort of supporting point that you would say to it is, someone once described the running back Marshawn Lynch very simply, saying that you can take the boy out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the boy. And I don't really sort of I think that about him, but he was in really his kind of heyday back at that time. And someone has also provided the counterclaim that the Seahawks had tried 3 times in the game to use Marshawn Lynch in a short yardage run against the Patriots, and those 3 times they were unsuccessful, so they simply tried something different. But at the same time, it did cost them the Super Bowl, and they were unsuccessful. Interception at the goal line, whatever you'd like to make of it. I mean, that's just one thing that's out there. I think, though, that a larger theory just in the overall aspect of conspiracy theories related to sports is the sports industrial complex. Just about how not only, of course, is there an enormous amount of money made from sports, but that the United States government uses professional sports as a way to distract people from issues that are kind of more relevant, or distracting people from like the shadow government and the kind of secret dealings that are going on behind the scenes. They just get people hyped up for NFL Sunday, hyped up for October in the MLB playoffs. I hope the New York Yankees do not win. I might like the Giants, but I do not like the New York Yankees. I don't think, you either love them or you hate them. That's pretty much the way it goes. So the thing is, though, it's like, is there any truth to that the professional sports exist because, the government wants to kind of draw people's attention into this? Even William Cooper, someone whom I've spoken highly of on this channel, who talked about like the sports industrial complex in one of his most famous interviews about conspiracy theories, William Cooper said very clearly, it's the same as the Romans bringing the circus into town. When there's a major event in politics going on and the people could really get out of control, what did the Romans do? They would bring the circus to town. Pro sports are the same as that. The challenge that I would kind of provide to this is just that history is not on the side of anyone going after any sort of sports industrial complex conspiracy theory. And I say that for the simple fact that, Major League Baseball has been going back to the 1800s. I believe 1876 or something was the first kind of official year. Something George Hall hit 5 home runs, became the first home run king. You also have pitchers like Handy Cummings inventing the curveball in 1867. People played sports and people watched sports for, well, now centuries prior to anything to do with media. People like sports because they're entertaining. And excuse me if watching football on Sundays is more entertaining than listening to Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. So that's all we really have to say about that. But what do you think? Do you think that there is any truth to this? And we also had the first theory about Marshawn Lynch being shut down by the NFL and Roger Goodell, the commissioner of football. For that reason, they were like, the image that we have to present to the people cannot contain this guy. He cannot be a hero. But another theory that kind of ties into all of this is something to do with teams like the New York Yankees, teams like the New England Patriots, teams like the Montreal Canadiens. We were having a conversation a couple months ago, and, just like sitting around with the guys, and they're just like, why is it always a team that almost has the most patriotic sort of mascot is the one who is dominating like the sports? I mean, the Yankees have won 27 titles or something like that. The Montreal Canadiens, an enormous amount of championships. The New England Patriots, an enormous amount of championships in the Tom Brady era. They weren't super successful prior to that. Ask the 85 Chicago Bears. But the thing is, though, people are just like, is there something that is going on with these teams? Are the refs rigging the system so the team with the most patriotic name is going to be winning more frequently? And that is something I'm just going to tell you, I don't know. But doesn't it seem weird that, say, the Montreal Canadiens win so many titles in the NHL, the Yankees have won so many times in the MLB, and that, of course, now we have the New England Patriots and such. There's even a sub-theory into this, that the Seattle Seahawks have been targeted by the referees in sports because they have a logo that contains Native American totemography, like that Seahawk that you see on the side of the Seahawks helmet. I mean, that's like it's meant to represent like something from a Native American totem pole. So the refs go against them, and then they side with the Patriots, who have the American flag. The Yankees have had the American colors on their logo, that is, like on the full Yankee picture, as not opposed to the NY thing they wear on the hat. But then, what do you make of teams like the Washington Nationals? Why haven't they received an enormous amount of help in the postseason from refs and umpires and from the league? That would be one of the only things you would kind of say to push back towards something like that. But that is a theory that people do talk about. Now, you really just have to also look at some of the kind of more technical and almost sort of cringeworthy theories that the Olympic Games, because we've talked mostly about the NFL, a little bit about MLB and such, but the Olympic Games is something that is designed to foster nationalism. Why? Because it's like our country won and your country lost. That we have the Olympic Games as just a way to sort of foster and create nationalist sentiment among nations, and it is specifically designed to keep these kinds of to keep different nations divided. It is just another barrier in the United States of America and around the world to keep people divided, because if people unified, they would be able to overthrow the ruling class. They'll be able to kind of dismantle the oligarchy that runs our world. Well, this is our little mini upload for today. What do you think about any of the theories that we put forward, that Marshawn Lynch got backstabbed by the NFL because they didn't want him to be the face of the league and a Super Bowl hero, that the teams like the New York Yankees, not the Giants, no way, the Yankees, the Patriots, and the Canadiens have received sort of help from the referees, and there's a little bit of cheating going on? And also, what do you think about the Olympic Games being kind of something that is designed to foster nationalism as well as the sports industrial complex? Tell me anything you'd like to say. If you just want to talk about sports at all, drop a comment below, and until next time.